Alright, peace. What it do? Alright, so in one of the older videos, I don't really off the top of my head remember which one it was. I think it might have been 5 or 6 in this series. I went on this um figure right here, and I explained to y'all how this is what we know as Heru. With this is the wings of Heru. That this is a artistic rendition of this. Alright, and I told you Heru and Ra is one and the same, centrally, in some mythologies. Now, in others, they're different. You got to understand, we talking about 100,000 years of history or of mythology, and people trying to interpret it as if one people created it at one time. Okay, there's many different interpretations over the years. Names are used in different capacities. All right, so Ra was the sun god, and Heru was the sun god. It's the same thing. Essentially, what I'm telling you is originally, when the original science was laid down, the mythology was about quantum, what we call today quantum physics. Okay, and the Heru on the Ra was this. This is the mechanical cycle of the electromagnet around the hydrogen. Somebody explained here. Like I say, I already read this in the other one, but essentially, whenever the electron absorbs the energy, it drains the electric field of some energy, and the tension between the two particles diminishes, allowing the electron to increase the size of its orbit. So as it's going around on this side, it gets bigger, it expands out just a little bit, comes back in. And that's the mechanical cycle. And that explains away this Pizio effect. And it's interesting because that Pizio effect, the word Pizio means to push etymologically. The idea that the energy is being affected mechanically. That's the science. That's the definition, I guess, of the Pizano effect. Is the mechanical operations that affect the electric output of a crystal or an atom or electron. So that's what he's saying. This explains that away. But the point is, the idea is the electromagnet pushes the energy around. That's why this word means push, and that's interesting because in ancient cosmology, the ancient people, all right, the ancient black people who established all this mythology and all this science, the zodiac, established all of that, they believed that the earth is flat. And they believed that the energy was already on the earth and that the sun pushed it around. And this is, yes, your yin yang symbol. Yes, it is the sun and the moon. All right. I mean, this was like, this blew my mind when I first seen it. But I'm not trying to force my ideologies on you. But what I am telling you is that everything I've told you up to this point in this series makes absolutely no sense spinning on Earth, going through space, and sun, and blah blah blah. Just telling you what it is. So you know what I'm saying. But it makes perfect sense like this, and with the definition of that Pizio effect, it just further confirms what I'm saying. The sun is not the source of energy. Re means it's redo, re-over, reapply. It's bringing something up that's already there. Regurgitating. You understand what I'm saying? In the Bible it says, "Let there be light." That is what, the third verse, I believe, of Genesis. And then in verse 14 it says, "Let there be two lights in the sky for the signs and the seasons." All right, and that word lights is Moors. FYI, I've already shown that in videos. But anyway, my point is, the sun is not the source of light. God in the Bible said, "Let there be light." The light was already there. Then the sun was to rule over it. The sun pushes the energy around your flat Earth. You understand me? You will, but after you watch the video that I'm gonna play at the end of this. But before I get there, I'm just gonna read you this so you can get this uh, idea in your head on how this stuff works. Okay, so Just quick look at it, you can see this symbol, as I told you, is Ra. And if you look at the R in hieroglyphics, right, which is obviously how you spell Ra, it's the same type of symbol, the oval shape. This may be the electromagnet itself. You understand what I'm saying? Because the whole point is that it is coil shaped, and that is why it operates the way it does. So you see, and I'm telling you, the majority of these, or no, all of these relate to all of this. And just so you know, it ain't just me saying this. This is out of the book, the Isis Thesis. You see it there. The corpse of the Egyptian funeral texts demonstrate an advanced 20th century knowledge of space physics, quantum physics, molecular biology, supermolecular chemistry, bacterial genetics. Using this expansive knowledge base, the Egyptians carved sophisticated symbolic systems of art and hieroglyphics into the tombs of pharaohs, yeah, right, and nobility to disguise their science. You dig? So all of this is high science, family. This is high science, family. We talking about the way the world works. Okay, we not talking about cats in boxes. We talking about reality. So we can go on. We're gonna explain this electromagnet a bit further, and then I'm gonna show you. And then I'm gonna play this video at the end that I just showed you a little bit of to see how this works only on um, one Earth, if you will. It just don't work on it. It just don't work on the spinning ball thing. It just is what it is. Proof that the electron is coil shaped is a coil shaped electromagnet. Scientists do not understand why electrons occupy different atomic orbitable shells the way they do. Figure 9. Why the shells contain the number of electrons they do, or why the shells are offset by at least 45 degrees to each other, or why the number of shells is a maximum of 8. The reason for all of these qualities is because the electron is actually a coil-shaped electromagnet, as in figure 29b explains. So I'm going to show you that in a second. When a spinning north-south electromagnet meets a spinning north-south electromagnet, the two repel each other, and when a spinning north-south electromagnet meets a spinning south-north electromagnet, the two attract, stick together, and exit the whole shell. Hence, as subatomic particles accrete into atoms, electromagnets inside shells and subshells must be separated by at least 45 degrees to avoid annihilation, and the electromagnet in one shell must be separate by at least 45 degrees from those in adjacent shells. However, the constraint of up to 8 electromagnets per shell or subshell, 8 times 45 degrees is 360. Okay, getting to the 8 in a second. And the requirement for different shells, subshells, planar orientations. Figure 30 uses a unique method of disanalysis to arrive to the same conclusion. All right, so let's go to that picture. All right, this is figure 29. You see. All right, so let's get into this to understand what's really going on. And keep in mind that I told you this is astrology, family. All that planet shit, Jupiter, all that shit is mythology. That's mythology. This is what this series of books series of videos is attempting to impart to you. All of that shit is mythology. We have to let go of these, Jesus coming to save you, or Heru coming to save you, the mothership coming to save you, Noble Drew Ali coming back and saving you, Nibiru coming to save you, the Anunnaki coming to save you, Greys, lizard reptilians. Okay, like as far as the Greys and the reptilian shit, all that shit could be fake too. Until I see it in my face, I don't trust shit on YouTube. Not like that. Man, all that shit could be fake, family. So, until I see a spaceship touch down and aliens step out and start fucking up stuff, I don't believe it. Yeah, all this, the Nibiru thing, Zacharias, it's all lie. That's a lie. It's just a lie. So basically, let me get back to it. I'm trying to show y'all how all of this stuff that we've been focusing on for years, these mythological people, are just that. And what they really talking about is atoms and quantum physics. So let's go. Figure 16E shows the azimuth of an electromagnet as it orbits the hadron nucleus. When the electromagnet is horizontal to the orbital plane, it behaves as a purely electric particle. When it's vertical, it behaves as a purely magnetic particle. Now, I explained all this in older videos, but you know what I'm saying? I'm showing you, I'm giving you the specifics, if you will. A is 1 through 4. That's these. Below illustrate the electromagnetic properties of the orbiting particle and the electromagnetic tipping point at 45 degrees intervals. That's B, I, and show the electric magnetic possibilities of the two neighboring electromagnets. Now, as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your quadrants. You understand what I'm saying in your astrology? The electromagnet, it turns 30 degrees each, you know what I'm saying, like each turn. So it's 30, 30 degrees, then another 30, 60, then another 30, and it's standing up at 90 degrees. You see what I'm saying? This is the cycle around the atom. I'm talking about a circle. I mean, around the proton. This is the electromagnet. So then it's up 90, and then it turns 30, 60, 90, or 180. 30, 30, 60, 90, 270, 30, 60, 90, 360. And it makes a complete circle around the proton as it makes a complete topple, if you will. You understand what I'm saying? Around itself. And this is how you get the different signs. You understand? You could say, just for the sake of understanding, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, right? And then these Cancer. And then Leo, Virgo. And then this would be Libra. You see, it'd be exact opposite. You see? Then Scorpio, Sagittarius, to be Capricorn. Then Aquarius, Pisces, and then you back at Aries. You see? And these subtle changes of the electromagnet is what creates what we know as astrology signs. Okay, zodiac signs is nothing but a mythology about the electromagnetic cycle of the earth. And everything is subject to it because the original cycle comes from the hydrogen atom. Goddamn, let's go. All right, so you see how it works. North south electrons, they repel each other. When they alike, when they are opposite, they attract. And then this is how we can end up creating more atoms. Okay, so the first shell has 2 because it goes 2, 8, 18, 32, 32, 18, 8, 2. So you had the first shell has 2, second shell has 8, the third shell has 8 and 8, this would be 16. And then because the magnetic field of these two cancel out one of the magnetic fields of two of the magnetic fields of these, this allows 2 more extra electromagnets to be in this orbitable shell. This is why you have 18, and that's what this explains. I'll let you read that. I ain't gonna read it because it'd be too much more reading. I just explained to you what it is. The magnetic radiation from these two, see, he got them 2 right here, that's why they in green, offsets 2 of these in this orbital shell, which allows 2 extra electromagnets. That's why these shells 3 and shell 6 can sustain up to 2 more electromagnetics in the same proposed scheme. You see what I'm saying? Because of that. Now I'll let you get an understanding of that. But essentially, for those who want to really understand how this stuff works, that's why you have 18 in shells 3 and shell 6, as opposed to having the maximum number of 8 in each shell, just like all others. Now, I want you to my numerologist. Okay, what's number 8 in numerology? You know that's infinite. That's God. God is 8. It's 26. It's 8. You understand what I'm saying? So it's 8 shells maximum per I mean 8 electromagnets, excuse me, per shell. Don't that tell you something? Like why you think the name is Yahweh and it's 26. You understand what I'm saying? 2 plus 6 is 8, and God is the same thing. Why you think they got all these numerological correspondence? It's because esoterically they on the same energy pattern as other things. You understand what I'm saying? And as you see, God, the number 8, at the quantum level, it basically tops off. You understand? It's basically the maximum level you can go, right? Which in our reality is not God, the maximum we can get to. You understand you understand the correspondence here. Basically, what I'm trying to explain to you is these mythologies we've been studying for all these years are quantum physics. Once you start to understand that, you can start to look at this our modern science, and you will see the ancient mythology within it. Okay, so the other figure was figure 30, and he was explaining to you how those shells work. So I'm gonna let you look at it. Okay, centrally you got the 2, and you got the 8, and you have another shell going diagonal. You know what I'm saying? So then you can have them all around, and then you just have more shells around that's bigger to accommodate the rest. You know, the 32, and then the 8, the other 18. You know what I'm saying? It will just get bigger and bigger. You know, obviously the bigger atoms will have more electromagnets. We know this. Okay, so this is how it works, fam. So this is astrology. Okay, so essentially, like I was saying in that other video, if you can look at this, hold on. Okay, so let's look at the carbon atom. Now, carbon is the life-giving atom within our reality. Everything that is alive has carbon. Okay, that is what that's everything. Carbon is everything. All right, we know we carbonated beings. You know, so-called black folks who threw. So let's look at this. I want you to understand what I said this in like the very first video, or second one. This is astrology right here, because the zodiac, etymology, the etymology zodiac is to live, to be alive, to be, to exist. Okay, life. All right, and what is the life-giving particle? Carbon. Carbon is the 6th element. Hence, the zodiac has 12 signs, because you're talking about the duality of the 6. Okay, okay. These are your planets. You dig? These are your planets. This is Saturn. The protons make Saturn. Now they got the neutrons in here with it. That's red and gray. That's they billiard ball style. You see? You see how they still don't get it? Look, I just Googled this, and I just explained to you in past videos why this makes absolutely no sense. The number one, the electron should collapse into the proton. The neutron is supposed to have a negative particle and a positive particle within it. Those two should collapse and annihilate each other. Why isn't this happening? What's keeping the protons together? The fake ass strong force, magic glue, cats in boxes. All right, this is all you got. But you come over here, and I'm telling you, the zodiac, the 12 signs, right, is a mythology about carbon. Carbon, that's it. All that other shit people talking about is bullshit. Planets, Neptune, Saturn, all that, moon, stars, bullshit. I'm telling you. Now, you'll say to me, well, now don't the moon affect the tides, and don't the sun give life and woo woo woo? Yes, they do. You know what I'm saying? Just like the tree outside gives off air and you breathing it, right? We all live in a system. But what I'm telling you is this idea that the sun and some Saturn, helps you understand life and helps your will and all this other shit. That's bullshit, family. All of that energy that's in the sky is already in you. As within, so without. The astrology, the only astrology you really need to be concerned with is the one inside of you. You understand what I'm saying? You need to know the energies that are present, and you need to know how they affect you. You is what's important. And that's what my books is about. You. You got to get out of all this outside stuff. Everybody looking for everything outside of them. Even in astrology, you thinking about some planet millions of miles away that has some kind of effect on you. Okay, that's not true, family. So essentially, what I'm telling you is reason why Saturn is said to have rings is because Saturns are the proton, and these are its rings. You understand what I'm saying? It's mythology, God. So this will be Saturn. This is the sun. This is the moon. Okay, the two that's right above you. You dig? And then this is, these four is your other four planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. All right, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, them shits. None of these shits exist for real, for real. All right, it's just not Mercury. Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus is probably some other atom that we just haven't made the connection as of yet. As of yet. But let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Y'all be thinking our ancestors wasn't on their shit. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, I told you that carbon is the life-giving atom. All right, now the way the periodic table is broke down, atoms are in columns, or the elements are in columns because they function similar, and the reason because they have the same amount of electromagnets, what we know to be electromagnets now, right? Because we know the true science. But they'll say electrons, they have the same amount of electrons in their outer orbiting shell. Okay, so what am I saying? Let's look at carbon. Carbon, right? Just showed you. Damn, let me go back. Carbon has 4 electrons in its outer shell. You see, because the first shell can only hold 2. Remember, this explains that to you. The first shell can only hold 2. The second shell can hold 8, then 18. Okay? You do that math. That's what 28. All right? So, look at, what was that? So, you see, carbon has 4 on its outer shell. The first 2 has 2. Then 4. Okay? These 4 are what we call elements: earth, fire, water, and air. Okay? The 4 pillars that reality is founded upon, right? The foundation. Okay, it's because of the 4. All right, now, what other element has 4 electrons in their outer orbit? Silicon. Silicon, right? Now, there is a possibility of silicon-based life. Why? Because silicon, just like carbon, damn, hey, when I try to type fast and fuck it up, has 4 electrons in its outer shell. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's why it's in the same category, or same column, excuse me, as carbon. Now let me tell you what this is in mythology. Silicon is what science fiction long maintain alien worlds inhabited silicon-based life, such as Star Trek. Okay, I ain't gonna read all this, but essentially what it's saying is silicon behaves similar to carbon. All right. Now what I'm telling you is, back in the day, we were silicon life beings. In that time, we were higher beings. There were giants in the earth in those days. All that talk. Okay, look up mud fossils. All right, that type of thing. I ain't gonna get into it here because you know what I'm saying. If I say too much, half of y'all probably still tripping on that astrology shit. Y'all damn sure ain't gonna be able to get this. But okay, so silicon life beings. Life has not progressed the way modern science would like us to believe. I've shown this in other videos. The book Dead Man's Secret shows how we have digressed. over the years. We were once living in a golden age, and the people were like gods. Now we living like this. Now what I'm telling you, and that is the great fall of man. In those mythologies that we've heard, Prometheus, Lucifer, I can't think of others, but you maybe can think of others. Okay, the great fall of man. What I'm telling you is we fell from silicone based life beings, right here, excuse me, to carbon life beings. And let me show you what I mean. You know Osiris, right? We all know the story of Osiris. But what we also know in that mythology, that Osiris was cut into how many pieces? 14. 14. Why was he cut in 14 pieces? Because silicone has 14 electrons. You underdig me? And he was cut up by who? Who was he cut up by? By Set. Am I right? Am I wrong? Seth found it. Yep, cut him. Seth is Satan, is 6 is carbon. You dig? Y'all not listening. Y'all not listening, man. Mythologies. Cut him up into 8 pieces by carbon. Set 6. That is the story of us falling from higher life, silicone-based life beings to carbon-based life beings. This is when humanity started. You know the dig? And the redemption story is us going back to silicone-based life beings. Okay, hence Heru is born, etc., etc. You see, that's the mythology. That's where that came from. That got perverted over the years into, spiritual awakenings and things of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's many different interpretations of the mythology, and the reason is not because this is wrong and that is wrong. It's because these principles are universal. The astrology starts with the hydrogen atom. You know, the hydrogen atom permeates everything, so it's in everything. That's why it's as within, so without, as above, so below. All of that above you is just a mirror of what's going on inside of you. Hence, the sun was called Ra, the redoer. Rerun, man. You understand me? So, lastly, just watch this video, man. This is just a great video, and hope you get it. And if it is what it is. Peace and love.
What if everything you've been taught your entire life about the planet you live on is a complete lie? The powers that are in control are backed by evil, and they will stop at nothing to remove the possibility of a creator or God. They created the Big Bang and evolution, and if you believe in those two things, then the existence of a God is destroyed. This is not the earth that you live on.